All right, up next we have Taurus rising and sun. This Capricorn full moon happening on June 21st is taking place in your ninth house. And I really feel like I'm getting two strong messages for you guys, just like the last group. If you haven't watched the overview, there are some themes here reoccurring that I think would really benefit you to listen to. A full moon in the ninth house, it's an interesting mix to have Capricorn in the ninth house because the ninth house typically has to deal with optimism, hope, faith, beliefs, expanding into new. Jupiter likes to be in this house, for example. But with Capricorn, this is a very practical, material, earthly energy that is very respectful of the limitations of reality. And so I feel like you are getting some kind of material, I guess a little bit of both. Like I feel like you're getting a douse of hope and kind of enlightenment in a way where you are literally lightening and having more faith about things in your material world being able to shift. And I really see that for you. But I also feel like there is a need to maybe respect the timing of things and to kind of honor where you are at in a particular cycle. And I see that with some of the cards I'm going to talk about here in a second. This moon is ruled by Saturn, which is the god of time, and Saturn is in your 11th house. So it is kind of trying to pace you in a way and have you keep the larger perspective in mind, which I think the 9th and 11th house pairs really well together when it comes to long-term perspectives, as well as how things reverberate into the kind of society, basically. How your actions, your decisions, your plans not only affect your own future, but affect other people's futures as well. And it creates a sense of purpose that I think helps you understand the pacing of things and the importance of things, the value of things in this instance. And what's really fascinating to me about this full moon is that it also squares Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces in your 11th. So there's something ungrounded or challenged by our ungrounded side with this square to Neptune. And this could come in through the influence of friends. You could have big dreams and visions that involve friends of some sort. Maybe you doing something with them. Maybe you're wanting to move abroad or study something. These are kind of the more traditional things of the ninth house. And maybe you want to join some type of community of people, or maybe you are influenced by certain ideas online or ideas from people in a community that you follow. But there's a sense of having really, really grandiose dreams of how you can influence the collective, of how you can do something with somebody that you love, how you can make this impact or make this amount of money. And I feel that that's true for you. But I also feel with this square to Neptune, there is the challenge of this being at 29 degrees where there's still a lot that we don't understand. There's still a lot that we can't see. And there may be something new about it as well that requires us to have a lot of patience. And I feel like that's a message coming in here for you guys, is really understanding that there's a lot you don't know yet. And you're kind of just starting off on some journey, even though it might not be the case you're starting off on it. I guess it would really depend. But I see that there's something new about this full moon because it is at this turning point where we are having the summer solstice happen and we're shifting into a different energy. So there's something new that is culminating at the time of this full moon, an idea that's illuminated, or some kind of action that you're wanting to take. But again, we don't want to get caught up in like the fantasy. We don't want to be tricked or overly influenced by others. We want to trust our judgment and our intuition as well, but having that nice balance between the material and the spiritual is going to be very important. The practical and the imaginative. That is super, super key. And I think that's going to come through again through the influence of people around you mainly. Or just you having your own vision of very long-term success or large success, impactful success, that kind of thing. So one of the things, okay, a couple of messages here. First off, let me start with the cards and then we'll get into the rest of the astrology. So one of the things that I'm seeing here is I got the moon in reverse twice. This is highly unusual to have this card pulled twice in two different decks, an oracle deck, a tarot deck. So really, I feel like what this is indicating is that, especially because this is a full moon, that means the sun is in Cancer. Cancer is all about life's cycles. Again, watch the overview if you haven't. The moon is the ruler of Cancer, and this is in reverse for both of these cards. So there's something about like your current awareness of the cycles that you're in, or your ability to respect the cycle that you're in, the right kind of divine timing. I feel like there's something that's indicating that there's unknown factors at play, and you are in a specific cycle, and you might be trying to push ahead with something, or you might have a very strong like desire or imagination or idealism that could lead you to making just like a decision without all of the awareness of the situation yet, because it might not be the right time, is kind of what I'm saying. And that doesn't mean that that you can't work on it. It just means that there's something here where you could be rushing the process or not doing, just like not, for example, when a woman is on her period, you definitely don't want to plan this super intense workout on that day because you're going to be tired, you're going to be introverted, but that's the best day because your psychic faculties are so open. That's really the best day to receive messages about what's working in your life and what's not. So having some time spent to journal, to reflect, and to make sure that you are doing that kind of check-in is really helpful because it can basically open up a lot of awareness that you don't normally have for you to do some necessary filtering in your life around your activities, your relationships, your lifestyle. And so if you were to use that time and push ahead anyway, you would be losing the magic of what that time was for. You would be misunderstanding and almost being like unnatural in your approach to time and where you're at. And as a Taurus, literally ruled over by nature, or the sign that rules over nature, it's very important for you to understand this natural cycle, this divine wisdom of each and every phase of life. And so, or of development of something. It doesn't even have to be this massive chunk of time. It could be smaller, phases of a cycle within a project. But there's something here where it's like, I really feel that you need to maybe connect more with your inner wisdom around what this period of time is for and how to get the most out of this period of time by aligning with the energy of this time and making sure that you are taking advantage of it. And for all of you, that's going to be different. For some of you, that could look like more of a resting phase, more of an active phase, a research phase, a healing phase. I'm sure there's lots of other phases, but there's something here where I feel like you are just really excited about something new with this Ace of Cups. This could be a new relationship, a new job opportunity, a new friendship, just something new in your life that I feel like is emerging that you're very emotionally invested into. But again, you have to make sure that you are not like, that you're approaching this, like that you're not letting your heart get ahead of you, and that you are truly listening and aware of what's going on around you and of where you are at in your life, and if this is the right time for this or not. It doesn't mean that you can't have it later. That doesn't mean you can't work towards it. It just means that you have to understand maybe some of the preliminary steps first so that you don't really make any critical mistakes. And that's super important because this is a fated full moon, because Mercury is squaring the nodes. Whenever we have a planet squaring the nodes, we have the choice of choosing between the old and the new. And for you guys, this is in your 12th and 6th house axis. So there's something here with the North Node being the 12th house, where in many ways you guys are meant to be, I mean, in general, we're kind of balancing out both houses anyway, but with the North Node, we need to put a little bit more emphasis there. The North Node being the 12th does indicate that there are going to be more unknown factors in your life with these nodes with the node in this 12th house. It's like a test from the universe. Are you going to look at the unknown factors and kind of tune into your gut instinct and flow with it naturally? Or are you going to try to stubbornly push your heels down, resist, and try to move in your own direction when you don't have all the answers yet? And that, I think, is going to be really, really important for you guys to understand, is your decision-making process is you're navigating a lot of uncertainties, and a lot of it needs to be navigated through the heart and not through idealism, not through overly being practical, but more of that kind of intuitive sense. And that's really the answer there for that. And I think that you guys are coming into a phase of your life where you are transforming with, I feel like you're transforming your mindset around your like own success or your own agency and ability to kind of like make things happen for yourself or get ahead, because we are having Mercury in the 3rd sextile Mars in your 1st. And again, this feels very empowering and enlivening, where you're having lots of creative ideas about the things that you could do. You're excited. You're believing in yourself. You're more confident. The sun is also in the 3rd, quincunxing Pluto in the 10th. So there is something here where we're going to have to kind of have a little bit of a rebirth with this card here. A rebirth on like your self-concept, especially when it comes to maybe leadership. It's like I feel like you're getting bolstered by Mars in the 1st to help you really become empowered to confront maybe smaller versions of yourself, old identities. And with the 5 of Pentacles and 10 of Pentacles, I feel like you're kind of straddling both worlds, both identities. One in which you maybe are used to like playing small in some kind of way, or being scrappy, not having enough money, kind of like making things work by patching them together. Like this kind of, it feels like youthful. Yeah, it feels like a youthful kind of like doing it on the fly type of energy with the 5 of Pentacles. And then we have Queen of Pentacles, which is somebody who's the manager, who has systems and processes, who knows how things are done, who's achieving really massive goals, who's impacting large amounts of people. But there's a sense of you guys kind of straddling between both worlds, where your mindset is going to have to be transformed and reborn in a way where you can let go of some old perspectives that would keep you in the 5 of Pentacles kind of scarcity type of youthful, naive type of energy. And it's like, no, we're up leveling, we're becoming the queen, and we have to think differently in order to move towards that. So that's essentially what I'm seeing for you guys. I feel like you are having this kind of renewed sense of hope in some kind of project or relationship or something. I feel like you are in a phase of needing to also identify more with a more up-leveled or kind of like serious version of yourself, which I think could be true to some extent for everyone. For Capricorn full moon, it is kind of about being a boss ass bitch in whatever area of life. And so there's something with that that I think is going to be really important for you, as well as, again, navigating the unknown, kind of being blinded in certain ways, but trusting the process and trusting the cycles that you're in, and not trying to kind of force things or overly indulge in a fantasy or idealism that isn't grounded. And that's a very fine line that I think we will all have to navigate, but especially you, Taurus, during this full moon. So let me know if this resonates down below. I would love to hear your comments. If you want a reading from me, you can always check me out at Cosmic Clarity Astrology, which I will link in the description box down below. Don't forget to also give me a like, subscribe, share with your friends, and have a beautiful day. Thanks, guys.